Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into another episode of the GC Show. I hope y'all are doing absolutely amazing here on this Monday afternoon, and welcome into the first guest episode here in Season 2 of the GC Show. This week I got the opportunity to sit down and interview my good friends Trey and Ethan from Ascend in Faith for a collab episode. What they have been doing in the community with their brand is so cool to see, and I can't wait for you guys to hear all about it. So without further ado, let's jump right into the Ascend in Faith collab. Welcome in, fellas. How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you, Gavin?
Doing all right. All right, so to begin, tell us a little bit about Ascend in Faith, about the brand, what you guys are all about.
So Ascend in Faith, whoa. No!
Hey, lock in.
Lock in. Okay. Ascend in Faith is a Christian clothing brand that we both started our senior year in high school. We ended the senior year just wanting to do something different with our brand. And we were both wanting to bring glory to God, and we both weren't really amazing with words. So we found a different way to kind of let people know about our faith, let people know what we stand for. And it's kind of how Ascend really came into play, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm. All right, so kind of with that too, kind of explain like the start of it. What inspired like the creation of Ascend in Faith? What's kind of explain a little bit the backstory, but there's like more to it.
Yeah, so funny story. I started the brand kind of as just a midnight thing. I was up one night and I was just like, I'm tired of wearing, the same old shirts or seeing all the same shirts. I want something that kind of goes with my, religion, and I wanted to be able to express that within my clothing, but nothing was the way I liked it. I'm into fashion, and I like, the baggy, oversized stuff. So I kind of went and I looked some stuff up one night, and I just made a design. And then the next day at school, I went up to Ethan and I was like, "Hey, I made some designs. Would you want to see?" He looked at them. He was like, "Dude, these are great designs. They're sick." And so I was like, "Well, I mean, you want to make me a few mock-ups, So I asked him to make me some, and he made some good mock-ups. I was like, "Well, you want to jump in on this together?" And Ascend started, started from just a midnight idea, and now it's a full clothing brand, and it's been great.
That's awesome, man. That's what we like to hear. Just kind of one day it's like boom, out of nowhere, now you got a business idea, and there you go.
Exactly.
That's what we like to hear. So when it comes to like Ascend in Faith, the brand, what are like the core values that you guys have, and like what you guys build off of, and what's kind of like the why when it comes to Ascend in Faith?
So the core values, when I look at it, I think of being bold in faith, just like faith lifestyle and kingdom impact. I believe that faith isn't confined to the four walls of a church, that it's something that is meant to be lived out daily in the way you talk, the things you do, and the things you wear. And I think that's what the core values of Ascend are.
That's really good. Yeah. I like that a
couldn't
lot.
have said it better myself.
Yeah, really good. So when it comes to clothing, right, you really could have done anything with that, but why did you guys decide to choose a Christian clothing brand specifically?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of what I was saying. I didn't like the shirts that were made. I felt like they were very basic and very similar in a type of way. Of course, every brand has to be similar because we all kind of want to narrow, but we have to make ourselves personalized. We have to be different from everyone else, right?
I like that.
And I didn't see any streetwear brands that had the Christianity, the religious form in it, So that's kind of why I wanted to separate, and why I feel that Ascend is something different out there for the people who want to wear streetwear and that type of fashion. Now they have an option to do so.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah.
Every clothing brand, there's countless clothing brands. They all have a specific niche, whether that's just like culture, lifestyle, or like status. But there are very few brands that like represent the faith well. And like he was saying with the streetwear, like streetwear is something that's like super popular in this day and age. And just like using that and incorporating faith into it, I feel like it's something important and a good way to portray it. So.
Yeah, 100%. So whenever someone puts on like Ascend in Faith clothing, what are they representing?
Obviously they're representing the brand and everything we stand for, but over that they're representing God and the whole gospel, the whole story of God, and that's what we stand for. That's what we try to portray in each one of our pieces.
Really good.
Yeah, we don't want people, who are out partying every night, wearing our stuff. Not necessarily that's not the way it can be. Of course, whoever wants to buy can buy, of course. We're not going to stop you. But we want the people who are truly believers in Christ and want to represent him. Those are the people we're focusing on, and that's who we want our customers to be.
And because I kind of saw you guys doing with like the sponsored athletes and stuff. I think that's cool that you guys are doing that just to like make sure with those people that they're going to stay on fire for the Lord and represent your brand well. I think that's really good that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, honestly, all of our athletes are absolutely amazing. I don't think we could have picked anybody better, honestly. But we wanted to make sure that we did it right. And we picked the correct athletes, of course. We want the ones that are going to the next level. We want the ones that are going to compete at the next level, but show Christ while they're competing, And I feel like every single one of our athletes is going to be doing that. And we've got a few more coming. It's going to be great. It's going to be an amazing time.
And I think it's important to point out that our brand isn't tailored specifically towards athletes. It's made for everyone. The athletes part of it is just it's a good. They're good representatives of the brand, and they're good outlets. So
and a good like platform too.
Yes,
like that. Yeah, it's awesome. So, kind of what we were saying earlier. When people wear your clothing, what you want. Oh my goodness, what do you want people, portraying to the world? Kind of went over that a little bit.
I mean, personally, this is just me. I don't know about your answer, but I want people to challenge themselves, of course. I feel like as someone who is Christian and, studies the Bible, I try and challenge myself a lot with learning new things, learning new, books, new quotes, new everything. I try and learn different things so I can have a deeper understanding of the main goal. And I want all of our athletes and just everybody in general who wears our brand to challenge themselves on learning something different. Go out of your comfort zone. If, let's say, just in general, streetwear isn't your thing, try it out. Maybe you want to enjoy it. It might be something that, you never thought it could be as good as it is.
Yeah, I like that. Anything, Pickler?
I mean, basically what he was saying, like challenging to for people to like step out and be that light in the darkness, and just in that way.
I like that. So whenever it comes to like brands and stuff, there's a lot of things you obviously want and like want to see the brand become. But what do you like never want Ascend of Faith to become? Like what are some like negatives that you never want to see it turn into?
I never want Ascend to become just like every other brand. Because people can get really caught up in like status and clout and money and all that stuff at face value. None of that is bad. But when you start putting that over God, that's when it becomes an issue. And ultimately, if that ever becomes a case where we're chasing clout over God, then we've messed up. We did something wrong.
Definitely. I mean, personally, I don't want Ascend to be just a clothing brand. I think we're going to need a little bit more of an audience, but I want to do big things with the brand. Of course, we've tried some things. They haven't ended up working out, of course, but we have some ideas. We'd love to, go to our local communities and try and help out and other things like that. So I don't want Ascend to be just a clothing brand. I want it to be a movement. I want it to be something that people are like, I want to be a part of that, not just for the shirts to wear. I want them to be a part of the message and what we stand for.
Ooh, I really like that. Yeah, that's awesome. So kind of like with the shirt specifically, what does the design process look like? And, how long does it take when it comes to design to get the final product? What does that all look like?
So ultimately, it starts with a lot of prayer. Personally, I don't know about him, but I take it to prayer, and I just a lot of studying of the Word, like especially for this new drop, John. I've been constantly in the Word, just reading the book of John, trying to see God move in there and how to incorporate that onto a design. And you see a lot of clothing brands that maybe they take like a random graphic and a random verse and put it together, and it doesn't match up. Like you could have like a graphic of like an empty tomb and then a verse from Leviticus put it together, and it doesn't mean the same thing as a send. So we put a lot of time in making sure that it has the visual and the message that goes with it.
And every single design process has to go through the both of us. We can't have one person favorite over another. So what we do is when we create our design, we send it to each other right away. Hey, I've created this design. I need your approval. I need to know what you're thinking, you know? Because as much as the brand is, of course, a brand, it's our brand. It's no one else's. So what we do is on us. Everything that happens is on us, no matter what, if that's good or bad. It ends up coming back towards us. So we want the best of the best for it. So the design process, if one of us favors something more than the other, we buy the print and then we see it in person, because we've had multiple shirts that we might not have liked or might have one-way favor, but they've shown up in person and it's been wow, So that's how our design process, and each shirt usually takes a day or two to kind of really settle in and agree on. But we both brainstorm multiple ideas, and it's very natural.
It's kind of with that too, are there like a lot of designs that you guys make that never actually make it to the public?
A ton. There's an absolute ton of designs we make that haven't shown up. And it's usually because we both can't agree on it. Of course, we're two separate minds. We're two very independent minds. We both think very differently. So having that, I think, is a good and a bad. Because the good side, when we both agree, the shirt comes out amazing, But when we don't agree, it's never anything bad. We're never like hashing it out. But we both are strong. We respect each other's opinions. So when one of us doesn't agree, we're just like, man, But we respect each other enough. I respect him a lot. So if he ever is like, hey, I don't, that design might be a little bit something that I think we should reconsider, I'm like, of course, let's try and draw it up a different way.
I like that. Yeah. I bet that's difficult too. Whenever you make a design that thinks can be really good, and then the other one doesn't agree on it.
Yeah, but I feel like that comes with pride, And I feel like personally, you got to put that aside. Being a business partner, whatever he says, I listen to, even if I don't want to listen to it. I might have the best idea. I feel like, and I bring it up to him, and he might be like, I don't think that matches with the word, or I don't think that that's exactly what we're trying to show. And I'll be like, no, man, you're 100% right. Even if I think that the idea is amazing.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I like that a lot. So when it comes to like the brand as a whole, what are some like short-term goals that you guys have?
You want them? Okay, so some short-term goals. I would love to get more people behind our message. I don't really care. Personally, I don't care about the sales. I want the message out there more than I want anything. I want people to see what we're standing for and how it affects the people around us, kind of thing. And I mean, we're growing at a great pace. And it's steady on, of course, our socials and stuff, but a lot of people are hearing us through word of mouth.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think we're growing at a great pace, and that's currently what I'm wanting as a short-term goal.
Like that, yeah. So, kind of you mentioned this a little bit, but how do you like hope to see the brand grow in the future? And like, I know you guys are going off to college soon, and how do you hope to see the brand grow whenever you go off to college, even though you guys are going to be in separate places and all that type of stuff?
So that's one of those things that are like really uncertain. Like obviously, like we don't know what down the line will take us. Like Proverbs 16:9, it says, in their heart humans plan the course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Basically meaning we could have everything planned out. We want to do this, we want to go to this school, do this, make this much money, start a family here. And the Lord could just completely flip it and we just got to like be on our toes for that, because I mean, you never know. So that's something I live by. I'm like a go with the flow type of guy, just like based off that, like nothing certain. So, but obviously we would love to see it take off.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
And be this huge community of believers representing us, but most importantly, God. So that's what we aim for, but got to be on our toes. So.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, awesome. So, what are some, I mentioned short-term goals a little bit ago, but do you guys have any long-term goals for the brand as a whole? And, where do you kind of see Ascend in Faith in 5 years from now?
Man, I haven't really thought about it. I feel like, to be honest with you, if in 5 years the brand is still doing good and still strong, I think we've made it.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that we're making money or anything like that, or we're doing all these crazy things. But I feel like clothing brands drop after the first year. So I feel like if we can stick it strong 5 years down the line and we're still going good, we're still, trying to represent God and making clothing while we're doing it, I feel like that is a win no matter what.
100%, yeah.
So in 5 years, personally, I would absolutely love to see the brand take off. That'd be amazing. Of course, as the guy who started, I'd love to just see my dream come to fruition. But I mean, I can't tell you. It's one of those things that God has a plan for us. We don't necessarily know that plan. So I have complete trust in Ethan and God, and so I feel like no matter what happens, it'll work its way the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And shoot, I lost it. Down the line, wait, hold up. Yo, I just had like a crazy point and then I lost it. All right, we can continue. It'll come back to me.
All right.
Oh, no, I got it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so of course down the line we'd love to make it big, but even if we're not generating as much sales as we want and we're not getting as much attention to our company as we might want, 5 years down the line, or even like 10 years down the line, if one piece of our clothing points one person to Christ, that's all that matters. That's all
that, yeah.
That's exactly it.
So
even just bringing one more person toward Christ is so important. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why we say we want more of a community than we want customers, because we're all followers in Christ. These shirts that we're wearing, they just represent who we are. That's all.
I like that. So here's the last question I want to ask when it comes to the brand. If Ascend in Faith disappeared tomorrow, what would people miss the most when it comes to the brand?
That's a fantastic question.
That's a question that I've asked and I've contemplated, and it's been really tough to think of an answer, especially since we're so new to this. As of right now, I don't see it making a huge impact on any lives as of right now. I hope so, but realistically, like a couple months in, it's probably not. But overall, if people don't remember our designs, so be it. But if they remember the impact that it might have on their spiritual life or spiritual journey, like I said, it's all worth it.
Exactly. Yeah. Personally, I think that people would miss it. I honestly do, because I feel like the amount of effort we've put into it, people have seen. We go to our church and people are just asking about the brand. It's an amazing thing to see. We were at a worship the other night and seeing people wearing some of our designs, it was genuinely one of the best feelings I've ever had. Because I was there taking photos for the worship, and I was just walking around and I see 2 or 3 of our designs on people's backs. I'm just like, man, this is amazing. I think people would miss, us constantly talking about it. I think honestly, if the brand disappeared tomorrow and we just forgot all about it, I think people would miss us trying to do something with it, us trying to get to people, let people know who we are. I think our word of mouth would be missed.
Yeah, I think 100% with you guys' brand. You guys have already made an impact on people, around you guys in the community, just seeing it on social media, and it's getting brought up in conversations too. And, you guys' brand, the impact you guys are making in the community. So, seeing stuff like if it were to disappear, it's real cool that you guys are doing like a shirt brand like this because it's something that people like see whenever you guys are wearing and displaying it in the public. So, if it did disappear tomorrow, I think people would most definitely miss it.
I think so too. And from where we are, we're all from around the same area. So I feel like people around here haven't had that glimpse of big entrepreneurship. I feel like our designs and our clothing is something that is a little bit different from where we are, So I feel like that would also be a little bit of a miss from some people.
Yeah. It's real cool seeing taking a dream, bringing it to life. It's awesome what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Couldn't have done it without you. I'm proud of all the things we've done so far, but I can't wait to see where we go from there.
Alrighty. So for the first half here of the Ascend in Faith collab, that is a wrap. Stay tuned. We'll jump into more of the personal section next. But for now, that will take us to the half. Welcome into halftime here on the Ascend in Faith collab. But before we begin, could I just give a big time shout out to Trey and Ethan? What they are doing at Ascend in Faith is so amazing, and this is one of the many designs that they have over there at Ascend in Faith. And when I tell you, man, these shirts are top notch. The quality is amazing and the designs are very well thought out. So if you are a Christian and you're interested in streetwear, then Ascend in Faith might just be for you, and I would very much recommend. So you can use the link that's either going to be in this corner or this corner. I have no idea which corner it's going to be in. Or you can use the link down below to go get your Ascend in Faith shirt today. Like I say in every episode, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, be sure to let me know because I like hearing feedback. I like knowing, what do the fans want to hear here in season 2 of the GC show. And like I mentioned last week, if you have any prayer requests, something that's weighing heavy on your heart, something you're struggling with, something you're going through, or just life in general, if you have any prayer requests, I would encourage you to reach out. Whether that's leaving that down below in the comments, whether that's reaching out to me through Instagram, or if you know me personally, reaching out to me personally, I would encourage you to reach out. And it doesn't just have to be me that you reach out to. Anyone that you know would be willing to pray for you, I would encourage you to reach out to them if you have a prayer request, because prayer is so strong and so important. So I'd encourage you to reach out if you have a prayer request. Stay tuned next week. We'll be getting back into the chair, but hey, why focus on next week when we can focus on right now? So without further ado, let's jump back into the second half of the Ascend in Faith collab. So welcome back into the second half of the Ascend in Faith collab. So, you guys know season 2 is all about, being called by God. So first question I want to ask in the second half is, what does being called, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means finding your way to represent God. I feel like everybody has their own way of doing it, and you have to understand that not everybody is the same when it comes to representing God. Some people are able to go up on stage and speak to a crowd of 200-300 people, and some people are able to, sit behind and just watch them do it, but then represent it in a different way, maybe in a more calmly manner, maybe go and talk to their friends about it on a daily basis. It's still getting that same exposure, but one's doing it at one time, and one's trying to do it in everyday value, And I feel like for me personally, that's kind of where the brand kind of came out of, because that's how I felt my calling was.
He kind of stole my answer, but I'll share this quote. It's God doesn't call the qualified; He qualifies the called. So you can take that as exactly what it says. If he opens doors for you and closes other doors, he's obviously leading you somewhere. He's preparing you for what your calling is. And like you said, that could be completely different for anyone. But
I like that. So kind of with that, like the quote you said, God doesn't call the qualified. God doesn't call the qualified, but He qualifies the called.
Yep.
Was there ever a time when it came to making the clothing brand that you guys felt unqualified or unworthy of that calling?
Funny, yeah, the entire time. The entire time. Me personally, of course. I feel like Our website was the main show of that. So that was one of those things where I spent, because we both have our own little niches within the brand, and so one of the things I took control over was the website, right? And I was like, I had this big idea, this huge idea of what I wanted, and then I pressed the button to get ready to start the website. I had no idea what I was doing. Seriously, like it was genuinely like I was starstruck by not knowing what I could do, you know. And I'd let Pickle know. I would call him. I'd be like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing, and he's just like, you got it. Just like keep working at it. I feel like, and I spent multiple nights, late nights, just kind of working at it. We both were like ricocheting ideas off of each other, and what took us 3-4 days to get the website ready.
Probably longer.
Yeah, honestly, if we're counting like the content of what we wanted and stuff like that, definitely longer. But the website itself, it took me about 3 or 4 days of working a long time on it. And that's when it was like, I just wasn't qualified at the time. But with God's grace, I mean, he showed me every step of the way. I figured it out, and I'm personally very, very happy with how the website came out.
And stepping into it, we definitely like lacked experience and money, and we had very limited connections, which ultimately made us feel like, what are we getting ourselves into? Like, there's no way. Like, I mean, obviously, like by the grace of God, it's possible, but it was just like very uncertain. And in this day and age, no one likes to be uncertain about how things are going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's always the hardest part, like getting started and like actually like, you know, getting into it. It's always the hardest part to get started.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah. So, you know, for someone who may feel unworthy or unqualified for their calling, you know, what would you tell that person?
You may be unqualified, but you definitely will find your way. I feel like no matter how you feel or how unqualified you feel, because I was there personally, I didn't think what I was doing was right. I had no idea what I was doing. I feel like you just have to kind of stick with it. Just keep trying to find your own lane. Keep trying to go and do your own thing. Of course, look at others and see what are they doing. Maybe you try that, but don't base yourself around others. Kind of know that everybody's different and God made you for a specific reason, the way you are, the way you think. And exactly that, just do your own thing. And that's kind of where I stand on that.
I like that. Yeah, that's real good. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter if you feel qualified, because if you're called, then God will prepare you for that. No matter like what, if you start to stray away from His path, obviously it's up to you to turn back onto that path. But ultimately, God has a plan, and if that's your calling, then He'll prepare that way for you.
That's real good. Yeah. I like that a lot. So, you know, who or what shaped your worldview the most?
Me personally, it was Ethan. So I wasn't big into my faith coming into my senior year, and that was around the time we met. You know, we met through a mutual friend, and at the time, I saw him always talking about God. You know, always expressing his love for God and everything that He's done for him. And I was like, man, that's just a beautiful thing to see. And I was like, I want to jump in on this, Bill. I want to be in there with you, of course. So I wanted to learn. So Ethan was the one that really did kind of influence me to really start taking my first steps. Started going to church, started going to Wednesday night classes, and it was just, I fell in love very fast.
That's really cool. Yeah.
I feel like personally, since I grew up in the church, I feel like the church has just been a big influence on how I perceive the world, but also like just people in general, like one-on-one conversations like I've had with Trey that get pretty deep, and it makes you realize how broken the world really is, and ultimately we're not living for this world, but the world to come. And that's what God's preparing us for. So
yeah, 100%. So, what's a big risk that you've taken in your life, and what did that big risk, what did it teach you?
Man, you've got to take risks. I love taking risks. It's so much fun because if the risk works out, then everybody who thought you were wrong, I mean, that's just the best thing. You get to say, I was right. But the biggest risk, honestly, was starting it because I had people telling me, dude, come on, you're what, 17? You're creating a clothing brand.
Yeah.
You don't, at the time I didn't have a job. So they're like, where are you funding this money? And exactly what I did, I used my last of my savings to start the brand. That's exactly what I was doing. You can ask Pickle, I had little to no money. I was just wanting to start the brand.
He used my money.
I did use his money.
A lot.
But we went in on it together. And so I knew that the last of my money, I was willing to put down for it. And Pickle was just like, dude, I'm 100% willing to jump in with you. And so we both, I think that was my biggest risk, was having to explain to my parents, hey, I've got something I want to do and I'm putting up all the money I've got to do it, And having to have those conversations with your parents to get them to understand what your way of thinking is really hard, of course. And I think my biggest risk was honestly just starting it, because that was when the most trial and the most triumph came.
Obviously, it's going to be a huge risk if obviously you have a limited amount of money and resources, very limited to no experience at all, and very limited connections. Thankfully, we had a few connections that helped, but it was really, for the most part, just us trying to learn along the way and figure it out. So
amazingly, I think that when we both started, we both lacked what the other one had. So personally, of course, like I was saying, I lacked the financial, but Pickle was there and he definitely helped me with that. And Pickle was lacking a little bit of the experience, and throughout my high school I had gone through the entrepreneurship academies that we have here in Florida, and so I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to be one of those people who creates something, It was never art. Oh my, no, it was never art, but it was always something different. And I feel like the experience he lacked, I was able to pick up on. And the financial that I lacked, he was definitely able to pick up on, and he helped us out so much. And I think that's exactly why when we started the brand, it meshed so well.
Yeah, because you guys have a great team that
we do.
You guys have over there. So that's awesome.
Thank you very much.
So, when it comes to you personally, what's something that people would be most surprised to learn about you?
Personally?
Or like a hidden talent, is there anything?
I think most people would be surprised how much I don't like attention. Even I'm being so genuine, because if we're in a group of people, it feels like I'm always fighting for attention. But once I get the attention on me, I just
don't want it.
Don't want it. And I've talked to people and they're like, no way. It seems like you're always fighting for attention, but especially that's why I don't have birthday parties or anything. I don't like the attention on me. But
gotta get him a birthday party one of these years. It's gonna be a surprise.
Surprise birthday party.
That might be worse, actually.
I honestly don't know. I think, I don't know. You might honestly have to answer. But personally, I think I'm pretty who you think I am. I'm an athlete. I'm a student. I'm a son. I'm a follower. I'm all these things. But I feel like I talk about who I am a lot because I'm very proud of who I am and who I've grown up to be. Something as a surprise, I honestly don't know. Do you have anything? I have no idea, honestly.
No, not
yeah, I think that maybe people who really have no idea who I am would be surprised that I'm going to play collegiate at sports. Maybe that might be a little bit of a surprise to some people. But I played soccer for, the past 13 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm glad to say I get to play for the next 4.
Yeah, the hard work has paid off. So
exactly.
It's awesome to see.
Thank you.
So, where do you feel like you're still learning in life? Because obviously, you guys are still young and maybe inexperienced in some areas. So where do you see like you feel learning and trying to grow a little bit?
Obviously, like you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
We're constantly learning how to present ourselves, how to represent ourselves in God, and obviously learning. Me specifically, I'm learning how to study the Bible more intently, and because I've always had very surface level knowledge, because like I grew up in the church. I know all the stories.
Yeah.
But I really like craved that deeper understanding and connection. So that's what I've worked on.
Man, I've been working on a lot. Honestly, I want to better myself for everyone around me. Of course for myself as well. But so I mean, to start with, the Bible. I mean, everything about it. I when I tell you, I didn't grow up in a Christian household. My family, they grew up in one, and they didn't want to force that upon their kids. So that's completely understandable. Everybody, they didn't like it when they were growing up, being forced into going to church and stuff like that. So they thought that, let me find it on my own. And I mean, thank you for that, because I found it on my own, and I feel like when I did, it was just powerful. So I'm learning to study the Bible at surface level, but I feel like I'm also learning everything that comes with it. I'm learning how to really show my faith, to represent my faith, and then to just also do everything around the glory of God. So this brand, I'm making sure, one, it's done right, because I'm very specific with what I want. If it's not a specific way, then we're gonna have to really talk about it. That's where some of those conversations come in, where we disagree, but I think that's healthy. So
100%.
yeah, everything about just everything I feel like I'm trying to learn on.
It's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So, when it comes to the Bible itself, what's your guys' favorite Bible verse, and why is it your favorite Bible verse?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Well, I said mine earlier. Proverbs 16:9. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but God establishes their steps. Like I said, you can have your whole plan figured out, but God can either shift it a little bit. That looks like, oh man, I didn't get into that school, or something changed, and oh, I didn't get that job I wanted. God could be sending you maybe to another school. That'll end up being better for you. Or he could flip the script completely, like don't go to school. I have this for you. I've already got this connection worked out for you. It's just like, just I live by that verse.
Just trusting in God and see wherever He takes you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, big thing with that is, I heard this quote. It's like there's 3 answers to prayer. There's yes, not yet, or I have something better.
Yep.
You never know where God's going to take you. You just have to trust Him, have faith that He will always provide wherever He takes you in life.
That's from Maddox's on Sunday night.
Well, it's not from
Well,
Maddox,
that was
but
he
Maddox.
said it. He
did
used
say
it.
it.
He used it.
Yeah.
Shout out Maddox.
Maddox, what a speaker.
What a guy.
Shout out
Maddox
Maddox.
Viga.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So, what's the best piece of advice that you guys have ever received?
honestly, I've received a lot of different advice from a lot of different people, because I like opinions. I like to know what you're thinking. If it's the hard truth, you tell me. Let me know. Let me know something's bad. Because if it's bad, then it's bad. Why would I want, the people around me to say, nah, man, you're doing great. That design's absolutely amazing. I go and publish it, and it's genuinely the worst design I've ever made. Why would I want that? So I think some of the best advice I've ever received is just keep going. Just keep pushing. I think that I use that advice all the time when it comes to everything. I feel like I'm one of those people who, even when times are getting tough, I try and just push just a little bit more to see where my true limit is. And
I like that.
that's honestly where I go with it.
It's real good.
The best advice I've received is when people tell me to receive advice, because often we get distracted and we want to do our own thing, and we kind of cancel out everything everyone else is saying because we want to stick to this and what I think is right, and we forget to take like constructive criticism and advice from other people.
Yeah, feedback.
Great answer.
Yeah, feedback is such an important thing, and that's cool that you guys have multiple people you guys are doing the brand with, so that it's not just one mind that's getting the ideas out, but you run it by the other one just to make sure it's actually a good idea.
And that's
really good you guys do
and
that.
that's I think why we're so strong together. But even our athletes have genuine input on some of the things we're doing and we want to do.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool,
we ask our athletes, hey, I mean, you're a part of this now. We want your opinion. Let us know. Do you guys have any ideas? And we've gotten a pretty good idea from some things that we want from the future.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I think that's, like I said, that's exactly why I think we've got a winning idea and why I think we'll go far.
Yeah, it's great what you guys are doing. So, the advice you've received, but now what's the best advice that you'd want to give to the person listening to this?
Oh, you ready?
Let's hear it.
Don't listen to the people around you. Of course, I say take an advice, but when they tell you something in a negative manner, don't listen to them. Take your time to sit and reflect on what you want to do. And even if they are telling you don't do it and you genuinely pursue that passion, you'll be so much more happier than you think. I can't tell you how many people I had telling me, hey, don't do this, don't do that, do this the right way, this is how it's supposed to be, black and white, do that. And I feel like I'm a black and white person. I try and follow the rules. I try and do things exactly how they're supposed to be done. But everybody's got to go into that shade of gray every once in a while. And they've got to find that thing that, I don't care what people are telling me in a negative manner. Whatever you say negatively, I'm not listening to. Now, if you've got advice for me, I'd love to take it. But if you're telling me, no, you can't do this, or no, don't do that, why would you do that? I promise you it's going in one ear and out the other.
That's really good.
I'd say going off of what he just said, listen to God's advice over everybody else's.
100%, yeah.
Because people could give you advice. It could be really good advice, or it could be something that goes completely against God's word. And then that's when you have to sit down and think, is this advice godly, or is it something that's like kind of pulling me away in the wrong direction? That's why I ultimately take everything to God whenever I take criticism. I try and find biblical examples of something that I'm going through.
In amazing ways. He catches me, Like I said, I'm still learning about everything, and that's exactly why he was the reason that I started with everything Christ related, and he catches me on some of that stuff, And I feel like having someone like him to be there and be like, hey man, let's go. Like it's not what you want to do. I think that's why it's going to be great, and you have to have someone like that in your life.
That's really good. Well, it's awesome what you guys are doing. What you guys are doing with the brand. It's real good to see. You guys are making an impact in the community, and I know you will continue to make an impact further on. It's been awesome having you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a blessing.
It's been awesome having you guys on the show this week, and that is a wrap for this week's episode.
There we go.
As always, like I say at the end of every episode, I will let the guests do the honors of doing the old slogan at the end. But as always, thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys next week.
Be great today.
Praise God.